1920s, after decades of protests, hunger strikes, and imprisonment, women were still fighting for the mere right to vote, facing brutal suppression and ridicule. In 1950s, girls were still barred from school in countless regions, their education sacrificed due to outdated traditions. In 1990s, workspace harassment and gender pay gaps were rampant, with women earning only 60 cents for every dollar a man made. In 2000s, honor killings and dowry-related violence took the lives of thousands of women annually. In 2010, reports revealed that women still held less than 20% of parliamentary seats worldwide. And here we are in 2025. So let me ask you this. How did we get from there to here? And how far have we really come? Today, I want to talk about something that deeply matters to me: gender equality. The more I've spoken on this issue, the more I've realized that speaking for women's rights has somehow become synonymous with man-hating. And if there's one thing I know for sure, this has to stop. For the record, feminism is not about excluding anyone. Rather, it's about including everyone. Feminism, by definition, is the belief that men and women deserve equal rights and opportunities. It's the theory of political, economic, and social equality of the sexes. I started questioning gender-based assumptions a long time ago. When I was 8 years old, I was called bossy for wanting to organize class projects and lead group activities, even though the boys who did the same were praised for their leadership. The next year, I realized how boys were encouraged to join sport teams like cricket, football, basketball, while girls were pushed towards dance or art as if our interests were already decided for us. A year later, I saw how classroom tasks were often divided. The boys were expected to lift or carry things, while the girls were expected to decorate bulletin boards or clean up, reinforcing ideas about strength and capability. Until, at 13, some of my friends began dropping out of sport teams because of the belief that girls shouldn't be too sporty. It's not attractive. At the same time, I saw boys in my class struggle with their emotions because real men don't cry. These experiences made me a feminist. For me, the word has always been simple. It means believing in equality. But I've learned that for many, feminism is an unpopular word. And why is that? Why is equality so hard to accept? Why does the very notion of equal rights feel like a threat to some? Some people think feminism is anti-men. Some think feminists are too strong or too aggressive. Others feel it's outdated or unnecessary. This isn't just my story. In India, 1 out of every 3 girls is married off before turning 18. That's millions of dreams cut short before they even begin. More than 40% of girls drop out of school by the age of 15, often because their families think educating a daughter is an unnecessary expense. I think it's right that I should be paid the same as a man for doing the same job when I grow up. I think it's right that I should be able to make decisions about my own life and body. I think it's right that women are involved in making decisions that will affect all of our futures. But I can't say that every girl in India has access to these rights. Not when millions of girls are married as children or told that their place is in the kitchen and not in a classroom. There isn't a single country in the world where women have achieved full equality. Not one. I feel privileged that my parents have always supported me, that my school doesn't limit me because I'm a girl, and that my teachers always encourage me to dream big. They may not know it, but my parents, teachers, and mentors are the inadvertent feminists who shape my world every day. When my parents encourage me to take up leadership roles, when my teachers push me to speak my mind in debates, and when my mentors tell me that my gender does not define my potential, they're quietly breaking down barriers. Their faith in me is like a silent rebellion against the stereotypes that try to tell us otherwise. They are proof that feminism isn't about big speeches or movements. It's about simple, everyday acts of equality that creates ripples of change. But not every girl has that privilege. I've seen boys in my school hesitant to talk because they're scared of being judged. I've seen girls give up their ambitions because society tells them they shouldn't aim too high. Here's what I'll say. Equality isn't a luxury. It's fundamental. When we think equality is something we can afford to delay, we forget that generations of girls have been waiting for that chance. Gender inequality is everyone's problem. Boys and men also suffer when they are told they must be tough or dominant to be respected. And this toxic cycle hurts us all. If men don't feel the pressure to be aggressive, women won't need to be submissive. If men don't have to control, women won't have to be controlled. We need to stop defining each other by what we are not and start embracing who we truly are. And when we do that, we'll all finally be liberated. Feminism is not a privilege, it's a right. I care deeply about this issue, and I feel it's my responsibility to speak up. Edmund Burke once said, "All that is needed for the forces of evil to triumph is for good men and women to do nothing." So whenever I doubt myself, I remind myself, if not me, who? If not now, when? It's not just about what I do, it's about what we all stand for. It's not the word feminism that matters, it's the meaning and ambition behind it. If you believed that everyone deserves the same respect, opportunities, and rights, then you're already part of the change, whether you call yourself a feminist or not. You must be one of those inadvertent feminists who are quietly shaping a fairer world through their actions and beliefs. And for that, I applaud you. It's not about what we call ourselves, not really. It's about what we all stand for. Because the reality is, if we do nothing, change will take far too long. Millions of girls will be married before even finishing school. Girls in rural area of Africa will continue to struggle for basic education, and equality will remain out of reach for yet another generation. But we can change that together, as rightly said by Laura Bates. It's not a men versus women issue. It's people versus prejudice. Thank you.